My heart was pounded out of my chest. The first words out of my mouth, I said, God, do not let it happen here. Scared me out my mind. Like, it literally scared me out my mind. Yo, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Cofer. And I feel like I ain't never did an intro like that before. But I know I got a lot of new faces and new subs that's been coming to the channel. So I first want to say, before we start this video, I want to say I appreciate y'all and I appreciate the love. And yeah, we're going to get straight into it. I know this is a question that everybody and their mama probably want to know, or why I started, or why I did this. Before we get into that, I believe this video can help a lot of people out, whether that be bringing awareness of what we put in our body, awareness of the plant-based lifestyle, and all that good stuff, man. So if you can, make sure you leave a like on this video and share this to your mama, your auntie, your dad, anybody and everybody you think that can benefit them. And yeah, man, comment down below what y'all thoughts is, and just what y'all thoughts is in general. Yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. So question is, why I went plant-based? So if y'all don't know, both of my parents had passed. Well, my dad had passed first, and that was in 2019. And then a few months later, my mom had passed in the same year, and they both had passed away from sickness. My dad passed away from a disease called amyloidosis, and my mom passed away from a disease called breast cancer. As y'all know, that is a huge thing. Like, breast cancer is a huge thing that's been going around. Like, a lot of women have been having it. And I've been dealing with that pretty much my whole life. Me and my brother, I got an older brother. We're both 12 months apart. So me and him, and coming up wise, as y'all know, I kind of speak on this story a lot, but just for the new people, yeah, we've been dealing with that for the longest, since middle school. My dad had went down first, and he was going in and out the hospital, and then my mom ended up going second. And that was one of those incidents where I came home from college. I went to Florida State, came home from college. It was one of those things where my mom brought me into the room, told me she had breast cancer, and I instantly just started crying. Yeah, it felt the worst, honestly. It was one of those things where you just don't want to hear stuff like that when you coming home. Honestly, when I was at Florida State and we got the chance to come home, I honestly sometimes didn't want to come home, just because how much stress it was, and just seeing my family, you know, going through what they was going through, and just the stress they was dealing with, just everything. And it would just hurt me so much to see them like that. So it was kind of one of those things where of course I wanted to see them and stuff, but I hated it. It was just hurting me so bad that I didn't want to go home. And we was the type of family that before we had my dad was in the NFL, he was the Detroit Lions, and we pretty much kind of had everything. It was one of those things where the disease had came out of nowhere, as they say, and it kind of just hit my dad with the instant. He had went to the doctor. At first, he was not going to the doctor at first, because he thought it was just a cold or something, because he was throwing up almost pretty much every single night. The doctor said, it was like, how are you still living? He had 7 heart attacks. Just a short story with that, because that's a whole nother story. As y'all see, the background of my family it was kind of always around the hospital. And the way my dad and my family kind of lost a lot of the money was from buying all these pharmacy pills and all the pills you can think of. My dad was taking maybe 10 to 20 pills in the morning each and every day. And it would be some days it would be 3 in the morning, my dad would be throwing up and my mom would be helping him out. It was times where when my dad first got diagnosed with amyloidosis, they really didn't know what it was. But when he was in the hospital stuff, he said it was so much pain that the wind would blow on his skin and it would just feel like needles. And he told one of my family members that he just wanted to die, because the pain was just it was hurting him so much. And it's crazy to even think like that, or even imagine, like, to be so much in pain that the wind hurts you. Like, yeah, like I said, I don't kind of want to go too deep in that story because that's a whole big story in itself. Just to fast forward, while that was going down, I was kind of a little conscious with just health wise, and just be honest, I was a little fearful with it, but I wasn't to a point where it was just constantly like, damn, what will happen if this? What will happen when that? It wasn't like nothing of that, because I believe my mom and my dad brought us up the right way of, you know, having that faith and having that belief in God that no matter what, everything's gonna be okay. And we always used to believe it, I always had faith on it, and we stood on it. And it actually was, because they told my dad he wouldn't even last 2 weeks, but he ended up lasting 12 years down the line. So just to speak on that in itself, that's how I know it's like belief and having faith in God and knowing that he got you no matter what's going on. I'm a strong believer in God, and Jesus Christ is definitely my Lord and Savior. Just a little side note on that. But yeah, it was kind of one of those things that I was health conscious, me and my brother was, and we hated hospitals and stuff. Yeah, nothing against hospitals or nothing, but it was just so much. I feel like every time we went to the hospital, or even were in the hospital, it just felt like death. Like, it just always, everybody's depressed, you passing out pills this way, this and that. So yeah, it was definitely on our minds a lot. But when COVID went down, don't quote me the year, I don't remember the year, but yeah, when COVID went down, I want to say it was 2020. Comment down below what year it was. I really don't even remember it. It feels like it's long ago, but it feels like it just happened last year. But yeah, when COVID went down, you know, we was all on lockdown. Pretty much, everybody was playing video games. If not playing video games, I was doing fit pictures, as a lot of people know. But when COVID went down, I actually started to get like cold sweats at night. I'll be waking up in the middle of the night, and I'll just be in a flat out sweat. Like, my bed would just be sweaty, or in the morning, my bed would just be sweaty, and I would just kind of be putting it off like, yo, what is going on? Like, I'll be like, it's weird. And the first thing, what I was trying to not do, honestly, is look at Google, because Google is one of those things, you tell them you got a cough, they say you got throat cancer, like something crazy. So it was one of those things where I was like, boy, I'm not looking at Google, because all Google gonna do is come in with fear. Yeah, I started to get cold sweats at night. I'll be waking up. It were times where I'll just be playing the game, and I would just feel like a little pain in my side or something. And then later down, my neck started to get swollen. Yeah, it was like just symptom after symptom, but I was still like, yo, what the world is going on? Like, what is going on? Meanwhile, I'm still doing this. I'm not thinking about no fruits. I'm not thinking about no veggies. I'm still eating Chipotle. I'm still eating Papa John's. And if you're from Atlanta, I'm still eating American Deli. American Deli was just wings and fries. And I was eating the 20-piece wings, fries, honey barbecue, by the way. And yeah, I was munching on that almost, I want to say, every other night. Honestly, I was just living life, because I feel like when you're young, you always, and everybody know about this part in life where you just think you're invincible, that nothing can happen to you, nothing can go down with you. That's how I was honestly thinking. Back to the symptoms, I started to get these symptoms and stuff. Finally looked on Google, and then I was trying to figure out what was going on, and Google saying this, you got cancer, you doing this, all the crazy stuff. Like I said, how Google be doing, going crazy. So later down the line, when I started to get really scared when my neck was like started to get puffy, and then when I started to get, actually no, I started to get really scared when I started to have like heart palpitations. So my heart would be, I guess, not even really skipping a beat. I don't even know how to explain, but yeah, if anybody had a heart palpitation before, yeah, I was having that, and I was still working out and stuff. Everything was fine. It wasn't messing up my workouts or nothing like that. But it was just kind of one of those things that it would come here and there where I would just be like, yo, what in the world is going on? Like, not me. And that is honestly when I feel like it was a flip of a switch. And I wasn't spending time with God before this. I was just being me. And I was kind of just, you know, when COVID went down, you was in that stage of doing everything else, doing as much as you can not to stay bored. And God was honestly the last thing on my mind. And once that hit, it was kind of one of those things, like, it kept happening, and I just kept throwing it off. But it was an instant click where once the heart palpitations came, I was like, God, I pray nothing's going on with me. So I would just, as we always do as humans, man, when something goes bad, you always revert right back to God. Like, it was like a instant where I was just spending time with God all the time, because I'm like, God, I pray my life don't end up like this. I pray my life don't end up being in a hospital. And I would just constantly just spending time with God. And then the question hit me where it's like, is God real? Like, is he really hearing me? And then that's when I started to hear from God. I was talking with God, just the whole nine. And just after that, a few months later down the road, I had got a call from Belgium. So I had to get checked up before I went to Belgium because I wanted to make sure everything was okay. So when I was going to the doctor, I was scared out my mind, man. And when I go into the doctor, it just instantly just gave me like, I guess, trauma. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, man, I refuse to be how my parents was. I refuse to go this route. Like, I don't care what's going on. I refuse. And before this, I definitely was looking up everything. Like, I was kind of already hip to the alkaline lifestyle just because my mom was doing it. And my mom would try to do it. She did it a little bit of the time, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, I want to say like all the way right, because she would do alkaline and then go back to eating wings, alkaline, and go back to eating, you know, processed foods and stuff. And I don't want to say just all the way processed, but just foods that I believe when you're in that incident, you probably shouldn't be eating, but we just didn't know about it. We just knew about just eating whatever, not even knowing, thinking just, I know I was, it's like cancer is like one of those things where it's Russian roulette. Like, whoever catches it, catches it. Like, you're just out of luck. It was one of those things like that. So that's exactly how we was thinking. And I know now when I look back, it's crazy that I even thought that. And I know a lot of people still think that, whereas cancer is just something that just comes from maybe just cigarettes, or it comes for this, or just, which it does, but it's more than just that. And it's really our lifestyle, how we eat and stuff, what we put in our bodies is what starts these dis-ease, as I like to call it. Y'all know, Yaki and a lot of other people be calling it that because that's what it is. Yeah, before I went to the doctor, I was hip on an alkaline lifestyle. I was doing a little bit of smoothies and stuff, but I wasn't too much into it. Like, I was still trying to learn and stuff. The route that I was going was more so vegan. And y'all know sometimes vegan is not what it is, because they say Oreos is vegan. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I really wasn't all the way hip to it. I was still learning. So fast forward, I'm going into the doctor, check my blood pressure. And when they checked my blood pressure was high. So I had high blood pressure. I kind of didn't really look at blood pressure like, ain't no way I have high blood pressure. Like, I'm young. Like, you know how we are. We just like, we invincible. We young. High blood pressure, whatever. So they was like, are you taking high blood pressure medicine? And I was like, nah, I'm not. And I thought they was going to hit me with the, high blood pressure because the athlete. Because I was so brought up on, that's what it would. If I had like high blood pressure, everybody used to tell me was, yeah, you're an athlete. They have it like that. Which might happen, I don't know. I guess this time it was like, it wasn't normal at all. So when I went to the doctor, they told me I had high blood pressure. So then I got even more scared. After that, they tried to put me on high blood pressure medicine. But me personally, I'm thinking in my head, and what I did in my head, I'm like, I am not about to be on no high blood pressure medicine, like at all. I'm not about to do that. After that, I go into the room. You know, they get checked up. I tell them what's going on. I tell them my thyroid issue. They check my thyroids and they saw it was swollen. So after that, they tell me, well, they come bring the doctor in. It was like, we just want to make sure everything's okay. And so we're going to set you up with another appointment just to make sure you don't have cancer. So when I went to heard the word cancer, it was like an instant like, nah, this is not the route I'm going. Like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Like, that's all I was thinking. Like, no, I am not going down this route at all. I end up going to the next doctor. And once I end up going to the next doctor, end up doing a CT scan. Again, I had high blood pressure when they did that again. And they took my blood, and thank God there was no cancer or anything. CT scan was okay. But what definitely was weird about it is when they called me back and they checked my blood and everything, they said my liver was high. And they asked me, do you drink? And if anybody knows me, if anybody knows Phil Cofer, this is no cap, no nothing. I have never drunk a sip of alcohol in my life, like at all. Never in my life. When I heard that, I'm like that don't even make sense. And what's crazy, even after he told me that, it was one of those things where, yeah, I don't know why that's high. No offense to the doctor that checked up on me and everything, and it was a great doctor. I didn't just go to no just ordinary doctor. I went to he was a professional. So it wasn't just one of those things where I'm just going to any type of doctor. It was a professional one. I had it set up and everything just to make sure everything was okay. So no offense to him, but yeah, he told me my liver was high, and that was it. He just hit me with I think you should be okay, good to go. You don't have any cancer or anything. He was like, if anything goes down, just give me a call, and da-da-da-da. So that's the first word, red flag, where I'm thinking in my head, like, so I just leave? Well, you just told me my liver was high, and yeah. So now I'm about to go to Belgium. I go to Belgium. Everything was good in Belgium. I didn't really play too good, honestly, but I feel like I had so much stuff on my mind, honestly, where I'm like, I just went to the doctor and that happened with, everything was good. They checked my heart and everything was fine. And yeah, it was one of those things where, yeah, he just said, call me if anything go down. If you have any problems, when you come back from Belgium, we could check on you and see what's going on. So it was like one of those instant things where I was like, yo, what in the world? Like, that's it? You're gonna tell me nothing else? Fast forward, I go to Belgium and I play over there for a year. I'm eating good. Like, I'm trying to get as much fruits and vegetables in my diet as possible. And overseas, I'm not gonna lie, they got so much organic stuff. Like, they had seeded grapes where I was at. Like, I believe God placed me in the right position where I can still like play basketball, but be able to, you know what I mean, get all the right stuff that's gonna help my body instead of just anything. So I was on the right stuff when I was up in Belgium. I really wasn't eating how I am now, where I'm like on the, I guess, diet. I do have a little slip up sometimes, but in Belgium I was still kind of learning. But I knew that fruits and vegetables were helpful. Like, those were very healing to the body. So I ended up losing a little weight just because I really didn't know what I was doing. And I know that I was losing weight because I was doing a lot of green smoothies. That's when I was doing green smoothies. I watch the greens or whatever, and I'll just put it all in a big smoothie. And it didn't taste too good just because, yeah, all the pulp and stuff were in the smoothie. I'm just down in the smoothie like that. Like, nah, I'm finna do this. So I was doing that green juice, and I was just, yeah, I really wasn't eating too much. Honestly, I was just doing that, and I was doing smoothies, avocado toast, and yeah, I really didn't know what I was doing, honestly, but I was still kind of getting hip to a lot of things, trying to learn and all those things. So fast forward after that, I went to Belgium a second time. This was the second year, and everything was fine again. Nothing was going down. I know my neck was still, the second time I went to Belgium, my neck was still kind of swollen, which was kind of weird. Yeah, my blood pressure was, I don't know what it was, but I know it was, I guess it was okay because when I went to Belgium, I got my blood pressure drawn, and my blood pressure, I guess, was fine. They said it was high a little bit, but it wasn't something where they would be like, yo, wait, hold on. So that's what's going on. That's what happened when I went to Belgium. It would be crazy though, because when I'll eat something bad, my neck, or I'll eat something that I know is not good for my body, my neck will flare up. But then when I eat something where it be, I get straight in the morning, my neck wouldn't be swollen. My neck would just be normal. And the mornings where I'll be eating fruits and vegetables and all that type stuff in the morning, which you should be doing straight in the morning. My neck wasn't swollen at all, but it'll be after I get like a dinner meal, because I was still trying to maintain my weight also while I was over in Belgium too. Until it started to flare up when I'll be eating something bad. So fast forward after that, this is when Cofer went down in Belgium. I got off the team because, yeah, I said it on live, so I don't want to go into that because that's a whole different other topic. But yeah, I got off the team when I was in Belgium. I ended up going to Paris, and yeah, I was pretty much just eating whatever. Honestly, still like I was still like being health based. Like I was still like on my stuff with not eating like too much processed foods, or I wasn't eating dairy, I wasn't eating meat, but it was still more so I was kind of doing I guess the vegan lifestyle, whereas, you know, sometimes you have like a vegan dessert or sometimes you have like a vegan burger. I was trying to eat as healthy as I can. So this was the last day of Paris. I'm leaving, I'm packing up and stuff, and this is one of those situations where it just scared me out my mind. Like, it literally scared me out my mind. I was leaving Paris, I was packing up and stuff. I was headed downstairs, and while I'm headed to my car, my heart just started to this was no panic attack, this was no anxiety attack, it was none of those things, because like I said, I was in Paris having fun, so my heart just started, it was going out of my chest. Like, my heart was pounding out of my chest. Like, I can't even explain, but it was going so fast that I couldn't even control it. Like, I couldn't even stop it. And the first thing I said was, I said, God, do not let it happen here. That's the first words out of my mouth. I said, God, do not let it happen here. And so I paused. I started breathing. Again, this was not no panic attack. I was calm in this situation. I was calm than a mug. And I was thinking I was going to be panicking when it was happening. Like, I'm like, yo, what is this? It's like, what's going on? But it was one of those things where it was beating so fast that I knew if I panicked or something, I don't even know what next would happen, but it was beating so fast. Like, I'm talking about, I could feel it out my chest. Like, it was, I don't even know how to explain. So I instantly stopped, and I stopped what I was doing, bring my bags to the car, and I just started to try to breathe. But it was, when I was trying to calm down my breathing, it just started to go, like, it was still going fast. And so it stopped. a little bit, and then I started walking again, then it started again, like going extra fast. And so I'm like, my heart ended up like going back to normal, beating normally. And so I paused and I was walking a little bit to see if it was tripping. Like my heart was still gonna be pounding like that, but it was good. And I ended up getting in the car. It was one of those things where I had to drive all the way back to Belgium. So when that was happening, I was thinking about that the whole ride home. Like, please don't let it happen when I'm driving again. So I'm going home, and that's the only thing I'm thinking on. So when I go to Belgium, I ended up staying in Belgium for a little bit longer, and then I ended up flying back to the crib, to the States. And when I went back to the States, it was kind of those things where it snapped. Like, I'm like, what am I about to do now? What's next? You know what I mean? That was the thing. That was my first mindset. It's like, what's next? And so I put down the basketball. This is why I didn't play basketball. It wasn't because I was doing YouTube. I know I told a lot of people I was doing good on YouTube and stuff, and which I was like, yo, it's a blessing because that's what was going down too. But I stopped basketball, I stopped working out, I stopped everything because of that situation in Paris. Because I'm like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Like, I'm like, nah. Because one of my friends had recently, rest in peace, but he had passed away from, I guess, something with his heart. I don't know what was going on, but he had passed away while he was overseas and he was running, and he just collapsed. And yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, man, I pray this don't happen to me. Like, it would scare me out my mind. Like, I just kept praying, don't let this happen to me, God. Don't let this happen to me, God. So the first thing I do when I get home is I just start researching like crazy. Like, I'm looking online, I'm going through, and then I just instantly just sat down. I said, God, I do not want to end up like my parents. I do not want to be in the hospital 24/8. I said, God, can you show me? And it woke me up to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not eating no more vegan processed food. I'm not eating no more crazy stuff. I'm not doing nothing. And I just was crying out to God. I said, God, help me figure this out. Ended up connecting with a guy named Yaki Awakening. And I feel like everybody know who Yaki Awakening is. If you don't, definitely go people on Instagram. I ended up being able to talk with him on the phone, and I flat out told him everything what was going on, like everything, because I've seen on a lot of his pages where, yeah, y'all just gotta check him out, because he definitely helped a lot of people who had diseases, and a lot of that stuff went away with the quickness. This ain't no, I know a lot of people say they do it and then they didn't do it. You know what I mean? They said they healed this and it didn't happen. Like, nah, y'all gotta go check him out. I'm not even playing around. Y'all definitely gotta go check it out. And it ain't no just somebody just saying, oh, it helped. Nah, the people be having paperwork. I'm talking about paperwork. So when I seen that, it instantly gave me like faith, like, yo, this stuff really worked. Like, changing your lifestyle, going plant-based, eating the right fruits and vegetables really works. So I ended up talking on the phone with him, like I said, and I just flat out told him all my symptoms. I said, yo, this is happening. This was been going on. And it was instantly one of those things where he was like, oh, man, this what is going on. He says this, and this. And it just instantly click where I'm like, bro, that makes sense like crazy, because he would ask me questions. He'd be like, has this happened to you? Because I was in kind of like a scared mode where I kind of wasn't getting everything that was happening to me, but I was pretty much telling him like this off rip that would pop in my head, like, yo, this happened, yo, this happened. And then he instantly like, did this happen this way? I'm like, bro, yes. He was like, oh yeah, all this is a da-da-da, this is a thyroid issue. Yo, you having heart palpitation because of the thyroid. It was just like a click, like it was like ding, ding, ding. And so he told me to, I ended up getting his bitters on his webpage. Yeah, I went, like one thing with me, I went all in. I wasn't playing around, wasn't playing no games. I went all in. So I did his 3 bitters, and I did his tinctures. That's what they call them. I think it was the geogenetic. It was like the whole package. I bought the whole package because I was not playing around. So when I did that, I did it for, I want to say a month. And I feel like I could have did longer, but I did his tinctures and his stuff for a month, and that's when it ran out. So I did it until it all ran out. And I was just doing this geogenetic juice, and it was like a whole green juice. It's a gallon a day of the green juice. And when I tell y'all, I'm not even boosting, I'm not even playing at all. Even before that, when I first came, I had talked to Yaki second. I ended up taking my own, like, I guess, precaution or whatever, and I was just doing like a whole smoothie. I did a smoothie fast where I was just doing straight fruits every single day. So I had lost a lot of weight. And I think the thing where I messed up with that is because I was doing a lot of frozen fruit smoothies. So I was like, it was like frozen fruit. I don't think I was doing the right way you're supposed to fast. So I really wasn't getting the right, you know what I'm saying, stuff from the ground. When it's frozen and stuff, I want to say it's like, you can still use it, but as like a healing thing, I don't think that's the best potent thing you can do. I believe that when I talked with Yaki, like I said, and I did his tinctures and his bitters and stuff, that was one of those things where it was like, all right, serious, you know what I mean? So for the whole month, I was not playing no games, y'all, because I'm like, yo, I refuse to be one of those people that go into the hospital 24/7. I refuse to have cancer, all that type stuff. And one of the main things that Yaki had told me that he would spend some knowledge to me was the symptoms, all they are alarms. It's alarms. So when the symptoms are going off, your body trying to warn you like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, you keep feeding me this BS, like, what's going on? Yeah, and I kept feeding him BS. And that's what was happening. It just, my body was like, yo, you tripping. Ended up doing that, and that's when I got put onto the juices. I did the juice fast with the tinctures and stuff for a flat out whole month. And actually, I'm gonna show y'all all the smoothies and all the juices I was using on the journey. I actually just finished the ebook, so that's gonna be coming pretty soon for y'all. I know a lot of y'all was asking about that. I tell y'all, I'm not even playing. My neck swelling had went all the way down. I haven't had neck swelling since then. My blood pressure went back to normal, and I found out because I was going to Puerto Rico, and before I went to Puerto Rico, I went to go get checked up. And so when I went to go get checked up, the lady was like, oh, you got good blood pressure. Usually athletes are high. And so when that happened, I'm like, it just clicked instantly, like, yo, this stuff really, like, this mug really worked. I stopped having heart palpitations. I have not had, not even playing y'all, I have not had no heart palpitations since that incident in Paris. And then after that, it was still going on when I was doing the smoothie and stuff. But after I did Yaki's bitters and I did his tincture, I have not had no heart palpitations. And the one thing where the thyroid issue that Yaki was on the dot with is that I was having anxiety like weird out of nowhere. The anxiety would just hit me out of nowhere. Not like I'm panicking or nothing, but it would just be like, yo, what the world? Why do I even feel like this? But thyroid messes with your emotions. That's what a lot of people don't know. And when he told me that, he had asked, that was one of the questions he asked me. He was like, has your emotions be down? I'm like, bro, yes. And I have no idea why. And so since then, I did not have no anxiety with the, you know what I'm saying, that would be coming out of nowhere. It was crazy, man. That's all I'm saying. It was crazy. And that's when it was like a whole turning point where I'm like, yo, this lifestyle is real. And I'm not talking about the fake vegan food lifestyle. And that's no offense to nobody, but I'm talking about the juices, the smoothies, the organic food, like all this fruits and vegetables. These things is really healing, y'all. Like, and that's coming from me. I would have never even thought I would have been right here telling this to y'all like this. That's coming from me, from my own experience. Because even after my parents passed, I still was not like, I was fearful of the hospital stuff, but it was not like one of those things where it clicked like, yo, I'm finna eat healthy. Like, I was still like, yo, I need to get on my stuff, but it didn't even click until it happened to me. So that's why I'm telling y'all where it's like, yo, this stuff really works. Like the stuff these people have in these grocery stores and these, you know what I'm saying, all these processed foods, like we ain't supposed to be eating this, y'all, to keep it a buck. We are not supposed to be eating this at all. Like, just to keep it 1,000 with y'all. And I know I'm not even trying to beat around the bush either with it, but that's just the real with it. All the processed foods, all this vegan foods, even processed, even worse than the regular foods. I messed up where I done went back to the vegan food sometimes, but it's like, I always catch myself and I be like, I know what I should be doing. I know what I gotta, you know what I mean? Not even keep up. Like, I know what, like, I'm trying to be on this earth as long as I can. I ain't trying to just, yeah, like that's me. And I want to be here longer than what my parents was. And that's no offense to them or nothing like that, but we just didn't know. And a lot of people, I feel, die of lack of knowledge. Yeah, y'all, that's when I figured out, like, this stuff is real, yo. We be eating all these fried foods and I feel like we believe that cancer just comes out of nowhere, y'all. Like, it don't. It don't at all. Like, the disease that we get in our body, the what they call cancer and all this other stuff that be happening to our body, we do it to ourselves. It's the lifestyle we do to ourselves. It's nothing else. And yes, it's other stuff besides even just the food, where it could be the microwave and just radiation. It's a whole bunch of stuff, y'all. Like, the deodorant we put on. Like, y'all know I speak about this stuff too. It's the ingredients that, when you looked at ingredients on back of boxes, when I really started to peep a lot of stuff and realize what they got going on in this world in general, it's crazy. I just try to show y'all and try to help y'all too. Like, I ain't just come out the womb knowing all this stuff. No, I'm still learning to this day. I feel like a lot of times where our parents are passing away so early and just we be losing so many of the family members. Our family members don't gotta go this quick like that. They 100% don't. No, it is not God's will. No, we can't just say, oh, it was their time. No. Like, of course, we don't know everybody's time when they are going to pass. We don't. Like, we don't at all. We can make lifestyle choices that help us. We can make lifestyle choices that keep us on this earth longer. But we're not giving ourselves a chance because we're eating all this crazy food that we shouldn't be eating at all. Like, God did not make it. And we can say, God, this is what everybody say all the time. They ate this back then, or in the Bible, they ate this. Yo, type of food that we're eating now is nowhere near what Jesus and everybody ate back then. It is nowhere near. Jesus wasn't eating no lemon pepper salmon bites with monkey fingers on the side, seasoned in seasoned salt. No, he wasn't eating this stuff. He just got a real deal wake up. It just irks me and it hurts me because I see so many people, even just through Instagram, even through just life, I'll just see somebody where they're talking about they have cancer and they just have the moping thing where it's life's over, like this and that. Like, no, like it's not at all. You don't have to die from your disease. I'm not saying I know how to cure stuff. I'm not saying that. I can't say that. You feel me? It's honestly crazy, man. And when I realize all this stuff, man, that's why I take, you know what I mean? I start doing these juices in the morning, like doing smoothies, doing juices, because like, yo, we are literally dying so quick. These pills and stuff we taking, it ain't healing nothing. But then it creates more problems. I can even go even deeper as in different stuff, but that's gonna be on a whole nother video, y'all. But I just definitely wanted to show y'all, speak about it with y'all, because I know my story can help a whole lot of people. And just for me speaking up, I know in this journey it's gonna feel like you're the only one. But I definitely will say you making the right decision with it, man. And I would definitely say keep going. And it's a whole journey. It ain't no overnight thing. It's not at all. And you can be the one in your family to change a lot of generations too, y'all. So you got that choice. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for watching. I ain't holding nothing back. And it's even more that I'm gonna go deeper on later down the line. I'm gonna be creating another Patreon. I know this Patreon that I got right now has been doing just pretty much just social media and kind of chatting with y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a whole new one, and this new one's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be smooth, man. It's gonna be doing a lot of stuff that I feel like y'all want to know and just kind of pick my brain on, whether that be discipline wise, my workout plan, one-on-one Zoom call. We're gonna have a group wise where we're gonna be having, maybe do a juice fast for 7 days. So we're all gonna be doing that juice fast. It's gonna be a lot of stuff, y'all. That's just a little bit of it. It's gonna be some good stuff. And I really want to take that Patreon serious, y'all. So yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff in the works, man. So I'm definitely happy to be putting those out pretty soon, man, especially the ebook and the Patreon. Appreciate y'all. And if y'all can, I believe this video can definitely help a lot of people, man. So if you can, share it to a family member. Anybody y'all, I believe is definitely gonna help them out. And leave a like, leave a comment, what y'all think, what y'all views on this lifestyle. And shoot, even what y'all been through. If y'all lost some family members or lost anybody, man, just yeah, comment down below. I already know this comment section is gonna be a long comment section, because we're gonna be talking it up, and I'm gonna be responding to y'all too, man. So appreciate y'all, appreciate the love, man. Yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.